Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. We're having ourselves a pretty good day out here. Terry Henne at Radio Center, along with Jonathan Dent. Looks like, John, I'm looking at some rain. It's trying to work its way into the state right now. We did get a little bit overnight, though, too, didn't we?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Did you hear any thunder?
No, not up my way. I didn't hear
Yeah,
anything.
It was a little thunder and lightning around last night. And some folks picked up a nice little chunk of rain. Other folks hardly anything at all. It looks as though the majority of the rainfall over the last 24 hours was in northern Michigan. We have a few more reporting stations looking at a quarter of an inch, a third of an inch, and maybe a couple of them with close to a half inch. But overall, not a lot of precipitation around the Great Lakes Bay area. We'll touch on that in just a second. Cool temperatures. Well, what do we have right now on our thermometer?
Yeah, right now out at the airport, 48 degrees, downtown Midlands at 46. Here at Radio Center, we're looking at 49 degrees. We got a slight breeze out of the east. Well, I say slight, 14 miles per hour. Nothing to laugh at, but it's not as windy as it has been.
The temperature variance across the state is just crazy. I'm looking at the Upper Peninsula, and they're in the 30s. Maybe a 40 here and there. That's just thrown in for good measure. You take a look at the northern half of the Lower Peninsula, and I'm looking at 30s all up and down, all around.
Looking at 33 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was looking at Alpena, 37. Cadillac is at 43, so they're not too much cooler than what we are. But 36 in Pellston, 34 Rogers City. Traverse City's at 46, so they're pretty close to us. Low to mid 30s all across the UP, but then you go down toward 69 Expressway and things just turn spring-like. 66 degrees right now in Benton Harbor, 60 in South Haven. I was looking for Lansing, and I think I don't see. Yes, I do. 48. So you're not looking at a whole lot of roaming room down there to see a difference of about 15 degrees. So everybody knows, well, you can see where the warm front is. We're going to need that warm front to move up through the Great Lakes Bay area. And hopefully it will this afternoon, because we're still projecting 68, 69 degrees around here. A day ago, we were looking at mid to upper 70s as far as a high temperature. What happened was the low pressure system that we were looking at, instead of moving a little bit, heading northeast and heading up in toward the Upper Peninsula a little bit quicker, did not. And as a result, that low got wrapped up with the low pressure system over the Minnesota, Dakota area. There's actually two individual domes of low pressure. So the two of them are kind of commingling right now. And as a result, the warm front, which was a part of the one over Iowa, is not going very far at all. So eventually it is going to work its way to the north. And eventually what's going to happen along with that movement is going to come the opportunity of seeing a little bit more in the way of precipitation. But right now, Wisconsin, especially on the west side of Wisconsin, is getting a lot of rain. And Minnesota is getting rain in the southern part. The northern part is getting snow. It's snowing in the Dakotas. It's snowing to the west of the Dakotas and south of the Dakotas. So those folks just can't cut a break anywhere at all. It looks as though this is going to linger for those folks for a few more days anyway. So obviously planting conditions are not all that good out there. Fortunately for us, a lot of plants went in, and fortunately for us, a lot of those seeds are in the ground. Our soil temperatures dropped from the middle 50s back at the beginning of the week down into the 42 to 45 degree range area for us here in the Great Lakes Bay Area and pretty much all over the state. So at the 2-inch level, soil temperature dropped about 10 degrees. It's not really going to hurt anything right now. And hopefully with whatever precipitation we do get and weather conditions, we don't get some crusting on the soil when it comes to the sugar beets. Because I was just, I mentioned it yesterday, just totally shocked to see about 40% of the sugar beets in all across the state. And obviously a lot of those sugar beet acreage is right here in the Great Lakes Bay Area and over in Michigan's thumb. So we'll just have to see how things shape up or down as we go through the next few days. Temperature wise, that's the best way to describe it, up and down. We're going to stick with that upper 60 to right around 70 degree range because we are anticipating a southeast breeze gusting up to 25 miles per hour a little bit later on this afternoon. The chances of precipitation will pick up as we go into the nighttime hours. We'll have a south wind and then eventually a southwest wind after midnight tonight. We'll drop down to about 48 for a low. So our low tonight will be right about where we're at right now for a current temperature. And during the day tomorrow, we're going to be looking at clouds. We're going to be looking at some sun. That's because whatever is affecting us right now or will be as we go into the evening hours is going to clear out. It's going to move out. And then early morning tomorrow morning, we're going to watch the front move through, the cold front move through. So by tomorrow afternoon, I think if we have a few scattered showers around, it's going to be a little earlier and clearing out as we go through the day tomorrow. I think the front will be east of Michigan by right after the noon hour tomorrow. 56 will be our high tomorrow, 46 low. Then on Saturday, we'll be right around 53 degrees. Still, we're going to be struggling with these scattered showers. They're just not going to go away. Not going to go away for the next several days. So any outdoor activities, I know a lot of folks with the kids, with softball, baseball, track and field, all sorts of things going on. You're just going to have to roll with the flow, take along some rain gear because you are probably going to get wet wherever you are, but it's not going to be one of these all-day affairs. So they're going to try to get in whatever activity and event is going on. But then as we move into the work week next week, things should begin to clear off just a little bit because really Sunday, I'm looking at just mostly cloudy, 48 degrees for a high, 32 for a low. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday right now, partly cloudy skies with temperatures in the mid to upper 50s through that period, which is pretty close to what's average, 58 in the afternoon and 38 at night. Record high in the state is 81. That was set way back in 1957, tied in 1985, and tied again in 1987. The record low in this state is 23. That was set back in 1928. A year ago, 54 was our high, 26 was our low, a trace of precipitation. Long range, take us all the way through the 3rd of May. Temperatures on average below normal. Precipitation values will be pretty close to average. We're going to be looking at slightly above next week and then average with the up, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend and into the first part of May. Sun will set this evening, 8:25, rise tomorrow morning at 6:44. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by.
We'll be talking with Doug Klein from Oppenheimer for our market report today. Then with more on the current market prices, we'll be getting those from MAC and Breckenridge. All of that is ahead, but first, the weather report today brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today.
As a farmer, you're always thinking ahead, planning and preparing for the next season. You know that a profitable yield depends on weather and timing. While Morgan Composting can't control the weather, they can save you time. From enhancing your soil before planting season with Dairy Dew compost blends to boosting growth with Dairy Dew granulated fertilizers and finishing the growing season strong with powerful liquid foliants made with kelp, humic, and fulvic acid. Morgan Composting has everything you need to get things going and get things growing in a complete package. Whether your farming operation is a greenhouse, an orchard, or thousands of acres of row crops, save time by getting your entire fertility plan made in one place. Morgan Composting, serving Michigan farmers for more than 25 years. Call the soil health experts now at Morgan Composting or visit dairydew.com to learn more.
Dairy Dew. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. It's all about risk management, Mr. Farmer. And eventually we're all going to need it. I got that funny feeling. This is going to be one of those years. Well, the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency can take care of that for you. They are licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. Now, you can get a hold of their agents on their cell phones for questions or emergencies, or you can call the office in Reese, 989-868-4722. The Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. Well, should we say good morning or hang on when we talk to Doug Klein?
I think we should hang on and say good morning to Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Doug, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Hey, we're not doing too bad. Last time I took a look, I wasn't really too thrilled with the Chicago Board of Trade.
Not really. Got a parachute?
Yeah. And I packed it myself.
Oh, great.
Didn't depend on anybody else to do it.
How brilliant is that? Yeah, God. So, yeah, grains are down right at about around 1%. Crude oil and the energies are down about 2.5%. Home sales came in today for March. They were down 2.5%, 2.4% on the month, but 22% year over year. So that's sounding a lot like a recession. But if it identifies as a good economy, maybe it'll all be all right eventually. I don't know. So, the Fed is still going to raise interest rates in May, probably adding insult to injury. But that's just something we have to deal with. The steel companies are coming in with earnings, and they're outstanding. Nucor is up about 6.5%. Steel Dynamics up in the 6-7% range too. They probably had long-term contracts to fill. People locking in their prices. The equipment makers and things like that have to have long-term contracts for their steel, and as we know quite well, the price of steel came down some 50% year over year. And so they probably are making a lot of money on those contracts right about now, filling them at last year's prices. But, it is what it is. There's winners and losers in that kind of a market, as we well know. So here's your numbers. The May corn is $6.65 down 7 cents. December corn is $5.56 down 6 3/4. The May soybeans $14.94 down 12 1/4. November soybeans $12.99 3/4 down 8 3/4. So beans are no longer in the teens. The May wheat is $6.71 down 10 3/4, and December wheat $7.09 down also 10 3/4. The crude oil is $77.47 down $1.77. Heating oil is $247.71 down 6.3 cents. Gasoline is $2.55. That's down 6 1/4 cents. Kind of should put us somewhere around $3.20. So once again, wiggle room at the pump.
Yeah.
No doubt. Natural gas $2.53.5 down 5.5 cents. Over to currencies, Canadian dollar. U.S. dollar buys $1.3460 Canadian. That's unchanged. The dollar buys 134.10 yen. That's down 59 ticks. The euro's at 109.67. That's up 13 ticks. The dollar's at 101.77. That's down 19 ticks. Gold's at 20.15, up $7.70. Silver's 25.38, down a dime. And platinum is at 11.0880, up $3.10.
Better pick up some more milk.
Mm-hmm.
I need the points.
Points, right?
Yep. Need them big time.
Right.
Doug, take care. Have a good one.
Okay.
All right. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. How all of that translates into cash paying prices? Over at MAC we go, where the wheat is down a dime. $6.32 for the white wheat, $5.97 for the red. The new crop is at $6.82 for the white, $6.07 for the red. Corn is currently down a dime at $6.11. New crop down 7 at $4.96. Soybeans down 13 at MAC and Breckenridge, $14.66. New crop down a dime at $12.38. Market report brought to you by the folks at Steiner Tractor Parts. New parts for old tractors made easy. You know, they share your enthusiasm for these antique machines at Steiner Tractor because it may be a hobby, a passion, livelihood, or even your legacy for the next generation. So Steiner Tractor is committed to getting those old parts, well, the new parts for the old tractors, because, well, your life might stop if your tractor stops running, especially if you've got an assigned task for that old tractor. 800-234-3280, that's the number, or you can get a hold of them online at steinertractor.com. And by the folks at the Frankenmuth Credit Union. They do have lines of credit, equipment loans, financings for purchasing land, credit cards, and more. Stop by and see how they can become your hometown financial solution. Find out more by going to frankenmuthcu.org. Who do we have up next, Jonathan?
We're going to head over to Joe Kramer with the Michigan Bean Commission. Joe, how are you today?
I'm all right, you guys. How are you guys doing?
Hey, we're not doing too bad. Haven't talked to you for a little bit. What's going on with our markets these days in the dry beans, Joe?
Well, lots to consider here, Terry. Spending a little bit of time trying to forecast or look in the crystal ball at what our inventory in the United States will look like on August 31st, and I think there's going to be a little more carryover than we expected. I believe that most of it is sold, but it just hasn't shipped yet. Part of that is related to all those old subjects like logistics, right? Labor, availability of vehicles, labor, all of those pieces are adding into that. And it's important, even though it's sold unshipped, it kind of delays how you get the customer back into the next crop year. So watching that a little bit, we're watching acreage in Mexico. We're watching drought in Argentina. We're watching the snow cover in North Dakota. All of those pieces are kind of making the market a little antsy right now.
I will say it's plenty early yet for the Mindak area, but I don't remember the last time they had weather like they're experiencing this year. And there really doesn't seem to be a lot of winter give up. It's just not wanting to go away up there.
It doesn't. And I agree with you that it's plenty early. But, you know, when bean people have a slow market, they do a lot of talking. And so we're already talking about or hearing chatter about, you know, prevented plants on corn because we're delayed, and can prevent acres go to beans, or will the guys not take prevent plants so they can plant dry beans? And a lot of that kind of speculation. My experience has been, at the end of the day, it doesn't historically have a big enough play to be a market factor. But people are paying attention and kind of watching that. I actually think that the situation in Argentina has a bigger potential right at the moment to impact growers here in Michigan.
The planting intentions report came out. We've had a couple other reports since we talked last. Where is the dry beans situated in some of these planting intentions?
Well, we won't see a government report that breaks things down by class until early to mid-August, but the trade has sort of got us believing that we're going to be up on pinto acres, specifically in Mindak. They think the Mindak region will be down on navies and blacks. In Michigan, we believe that our small red acres will be kind of flat, if that makes sense. We think we're going to be down. I hate to use the word significantly, but we'll be down sharply in navy beans. But I think we're going to be up slightly in black beans. So we're kind of watching all those pieces. I think kidney bean acreage is going to take a dive in the Minnesota region. I think our kidney beans, not a lot of acres of those here, but I think they'll be fairly steady. And I think our cranberry crop will be fairly steady. So not, at the end of the day, I think we'll have a few more acres of dry beans in the country. We just got to figure out the mix.
Yeah. And by the sounds of it, there might be some advantages for us to put in some of these things, given the fact of what is going on in some of the other major producing areas that affect our market.
The areas that are question marks right now are pinto bean and black bean consuming or producing regions. So they do have a big play one way or the other.
Good advice. Good information, Joe. We really appreciate it. We'll talk again soon, okay?
Thanks, Terry.
You bet. Joe Kramer with the Michigan Bean Commission. Jerry Samalski on the line with us right now?
Not yet. No Jerry yet.
No Jerry yet? But we've got Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency, right?
Yes, we do.
Excellent. Craig, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. We're good. How about you?
Hey, we're not doing too bad. Let's talk a little bit about life, as in insurance.
Yeah, not a great fun topic. I mean, few insurance topics really are, but life insurance is definitely one of the least favorite of the group to talk about. But it should be part of your discussion, and it can be a very useful tool. It can be used to pay off a surviving spouse or a partner or another sibling. It can be very helpful in your succession planning, or if you have a buy-sell agreement between your partners or even your family members. Life insurance is a good way to fund those things. Again, unfortunately, it only kicks in when somebody passes. We all know that, but it does take some of the financial burden away from an unpleasant situation. And that's really what all insurance is designed to do. Take a little bit of stress off you when things go wrong.
Yeah. Now, on a related, as far as taking the stress out, the other day we talked about the flood insurance. And quite frankly, I didn't think a lot about it because, we really didn't have a lot of flooding going on around here. But I talked to a gentleman yesterday who's in the western part of the Upper Peninsula, and they have got some major flooding going on up there right now.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't heard that, but it doesn't surprise me. I've got friends that live up there, and as of even the first of this month, they were sending me pictures of all the snow they were still getting. So if that melted off rapidly last week, I haven't heard from the folks up there, but I could certainly believe that's causing some issues. And again, you have that waiting period on the flood insurance, so you can't just put it in place today and use it tomorrow. So you got to be thinking ahead on that.
So again, getting back to the life insurance, as far as getting together, putting some things in place, over how long of a period of time are we looking from the time you initiate till you actually have the coverage?
Well, with life insurance, once they do their underwriting, and sometimes you do need to do some medical stuff, get some blood work and that kind of thing. Once that's complete, those policies can kick in right away. So there is not necessarily a designated wait time on those like there is the flood, but they won't put them in place until all their underwriting is complete. And that can take a few weeks depending on your medical schedule and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I asked that simply because a lot of folks, they haven't thought about life insurance. Maybe folks 20, 25, 40 years ago, that was just a part of the financial situation. That's not the case. It hasn't been lately.
No, it hasn't. But, you bring up a good point, Terry, with the inflation and the cost of everything. And chances are folks carrying more debt than they used to. Again, life insurance can be a helpful tool to mitigate those things. especially if you're the survivor of the situation and the breadwinner, no pun intended, there is gone, and now you're faced with how to cover all these bills. So it certainly should be a part of your financial planning, no doubt.
Very good. Craig Voorhees, take care. We'll have a nice weekend, and hopefully you will too.
We're going to give it a try.
There you go. Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Weiss Equipment. Those Farmall tractors, they've got them. 35 to 140 horsepower. Farmall A Series to the Deluxe Compact Farmall C and C Series with cabs. So check them out, because no matter what you're doing, Can Do comes in red. And it's called Farmall. See them at Weiss Equipment in Frankenmuth, doing it right longer. Let's find out how things are in New York, Jonathan.
Oh, 1 second. I've got Jerry Samolsky.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. Plan
Yes.
of the week.
Jerry, yes. Okay, Jerry, the plan of the week. What have we got?
We're going to talk about weeping cherry today, Terry. Weeping cherry is a really, really common plant. There's two major varieties. One is Snow Fountain, and that's the smallest one. And the hanging is the pink variety. That plant gets big. That plant can get 35 feet. And people plant them and say, oh, I can trim it. Well, you can, but it gets really kind of odd looking. So if you want a small one, you have to get the white flower. The pink one is going to be a larger plant, but they're spectacular. They're out in bloom right now. They bloom early and really helps break up the winter blahs and get you feeling like spring. And they're just great weeping plants.
Fantastic.
The only maintenance thing with them, Terry, is to thin them. They want to be thinned.
All right. Jerry, take care. We'll talk to you again next week. All right?
Yep.
All righty. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Now, hopefully we don't have any weeping cherries in New York.
Let's hope not.
No.
Steve Henderson from Bear.
That's all right.
Oh, we got a big list of people today. Steve, how are you today?
I'm fine, and don't worry about it. My mom used to forget my name periodically. She had too many kids, so she'd call us all.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Right now, we've got a little bit of red ink going here in New York. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 85 points, putting it at 33,812. Volume there is 280 million shares. The NASDAQ is down 46 at 12,111, and that's on 335 million shares. Locally, Caterpillar 223.24, down 141. Deere 391.04, down 173. CMS 61.38, down 23. Dow 55.85, down 59. DuPont 70.67, down 54. Tried to carry it one too far that time. Corteva 61.75, down 50. GM 33.36, down 122. Trinzio 19.66, down 49. Walmart 150.94, up 93. Huntington Bank is 1160, down 24. Independent Bank 1716, down 15. And AT&T is down 189 at 1781. I guess there's actually more red there than I was trying to give it credit for.
There you go. Steve, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Experience the most reliable RTK signal from PC Ag Solutions, compatible with most GPS receivers. Trade in your old radio or modem and get an affordable subscription through us. We have over 25 base station locations across the Lower Peninsula, and we're always looking to add more to our network. Discover more power, more accuracy, and more coverage with our 450 megahertz signal. Call us to learn more today. PC Ag Solutions, 989-868-4444.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW